Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Mashita binti Shahranizan. Today, I will talk about organizational learning using AirAsia as my selected organization. AirAsia is a well-known low-cost airline in Asia. Over the years, it has faced many challenges such as strong competition, economic crisis, and especially the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite these challenges, AirAsia continues to adapt and transform its business. In this video, I will define organizational learning based on key scholars, discuss the levels of learning in AirAsia, explain single loop and double loop learning, identify tacit and explicit knowledge, and finally evaluate whether AirAsia is truly a learning organization. Based on my understanding, organizational learning refers to the process where an organization continuously gains knowledge, share it, and apply it to improve performance and adapt to changes. According to Chris Argyris, organizational learning happens when organizations detect and correct errors. He introduced the concept of single loop and double loop learning, which explain different depths of learning. Another important scholar is Ikujiro Nonaka, who explained that knowledge in organization exists in two forms, which is tacit and explicit knowledge. He emphasized that organizations must convert and share knowledge to create continuous learning. Organizational learning is very important in today's business environment because industries are changing rapidly, like the technology develops quickly, customer expectations increase, and competition is strong. Without learning and adapting, organizations may fail to survive. For AirAsia, learning is essential because the airline industry is highly competitive and very sensitive to global crises. Organizational learning happens at three levels: individual, team, and organizational. So let's start with individual level. At the individual level, learning happens when the employees gain new knowledge or skills. In AirAsia, examples include pilot training simulations, cabin crew customer service training, and staff digital skills development. Each employee improves their personal skills to perform better in their job. For example, cabin crew members attend service excellence training to improve communication and customer satisfaction. Next, at the team level, learning happens when groups work together and improve their collective performance. In AirAsia, operational teams coordinate flight schedules and manage delays. Meanwhile, marketing teams plan promotional strategies together. So when problems happen, such as flight disruptions, teams discuss solutions and learn from mistakes. So, this shows learning through collaboration and shared experience. Lastly, at the organizational level, learning becomes part of the company's system, strategy, or policies. A strong example is AirAsia's digital transformation. The company expanded beyond being just an airline and developed digital platforms, but they also include travel services and financial technology solutions. This shows that learning is embedded into the organization's strategy, not just at individual or team levels. Now, I will explain single loop and double loop learning. According to Chris Argyris, single loop learning happens when organizations fix problems without changing their core assumptions. For example, if customers complain about flight delays, AirAsia may improve scheduling efficiency or adjust staff allocation. However, the low-cost business model remains the same. This is single loop learning because they are correcting errors but not changing the main strategy. On the other hand, double loop learning happens when organizations question their core values, policies, or assumptions. During the COVID-19 pandemic, AirAsia experienced a major crisis because flights were grounded. Instead of only reducing costs, the company re-evaluated its business model. It expanded into digital businesses and repositioned itself as a digital travel and lifestyle company. This shows double learning because AirAsia questioned its dependence on airline operation and redesigned its strategy. In my evaluation, AirAsia demonstrates both single loop and double loop learning. However, its transformation during the pandemic is a strong example of double loop learning. According to Ikujiro Nonaka, knowledge exists into two forms, which is tacit and explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is personal knowledge that is difficult to express. In AirAsia, examples include a pilot's flying experience, a manager's leadership skills, and cabin crew's communication style. These are gained through experience are not easily written down. On the other hand, explicit knowledge is documented and easy to share. For examples, safety manuals, standard operating procedure, training guidelines, and company policies. AirAsia appears to share explicit knowledge effectively through structured training programs and digital systems. However, tacit knowledge sharing may depend on mentoring, coaching, and daily interaction between employees. This means knowledge sharing exists, but continuous improvement is still important. Organizational learning is the process of learning. It refers to activities that improve knowledge and performance. However, a learning organization is an organization where learning is a part of the culture and continuous support at all levels. In my opinion, AirAsia shows many characteristics of a learning organization. It promotes innovation, digital transformation, and continuous adaptation. The company did not remain passive during crisis, but instead look for new opportunities. However, maintaining a strong learning culture during financial pressure can be challenging. Therefore, while AirAsia demonstrates strong organizational learning practices, continuous commitment is needed to fully sustain its identity as a learning organization. In my opinion, organizational learning is essential for organizational survival and competitiveness. Based on this analysis, AirAsia demonstrates learning at individual, team, and organizational level. The company practices both single loop and double loop learning, especially through its digital transformation strategy. AirAsia also manages tacit and explicit knowledge through training system and operational procedures. Overall, AirAsia shows strong characteristics of a learning organization, although continuous effort is necessary to sustain a long-term learning culture. That's all for me. Thank you.